everyone. I'm Mary Ayantoyinbo, and I'm glad to be on this platform to speak to us. I'm a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University, where I studied microbiology. I'm an advocate of SDG 3 and 4, particularly good reproductive health and quality sexuality education. I want to appreciate the organizer of this program, Instruct Pathways Youth Foundation, for this privilege to speak to this noble mind. Thank you so much. And our topic of discourse for today is ensuring universal access to clean water and sanitation. Are we on track? As simple as this topic might seem, it's a very and highly important one in the society of today. Before we dive into the topic, I want us to consider a scenario I tagged the student's dilemma. Imagine you're in the middle of a crucial examination and nature calls, but the toilet is clogged and the water is dirty. What do? Do you leave the exam in search of another toilet and risk failing the test? Or do you hold it in and risk a health disaster? This is actually to show us the importance of water, clean water and sanitation in our society today. Look at the lady on the screen. She was so scared. So this to show to us that clean water and sanitation is really important. We are going to discuss the topic under this outline: understanding clean water and sanitation, current state of accessibility of clean water and sanitation, how to ensure future access, Nigeria's journey to save water and sanitation for all, call to action, and finally the conclusion. Understanding clean water and sanitation. Accessible clean water, sanitation, and hygiene are not just crucial to human health, but they are key to our very existence. Before we understand something, we have to rightly clarify what that thing is. And that is leading us to the question, what is clean water? Clean water is safe and drinkable water that is free from contaminants, otherwise known as potable water. You will see in this place, I didn't say clean water is transparent water or odorless water. Clean water is more than that. And clean water has to meet certain standards, like physical characteristics, like it must be clear, it must be odorless, it must be tasteless. It must be free from harmful bacteria, viruses, and parasites, like you can see on the screen. Clean and accessible water is pivotal part of living, and there is sufficient amount of fresh water on the planet to achieve this. In God's wisdom, at creation, He has placed us in sufficient amount of fresh water on the planet to achieve this our need for clean and accessible water. Let's move to sanitation. What is sanitation? Sanitation is the provision of facilities and services for the safe management of solid, human, and animal waste. There are several facilities to enhance this and to achieve this. We have the latrine for the management of human excreta, we have the toilet, and we have the incinerator for the management of solid waste and others. And these our sanitation facilities, they must be physically accessible to everyone. They must be positioned in a place where everyone can easily get to. They must be affordable. Yes, it's something we can all afford. They must be safe and secure. They must be well maintained, like the other lady that was scared in that student dilemma screen. Accessible sanitation facilities must be well maintained. It must be equitable. That is something that is open to everyone. It must be inclusive. Something that is open to everyone. We can have the male section of the toilet. We can have the female section. But it should be something that is open to everyone and inclusive. Importance of clean water and sanitation. The importance of clean water and sanitation cannot be overstated, but their significance is fully appreciated when they are accessible to all. We can only appreciate the significance of this clean water and sanitation when they are accessible to every one of us. You know, there's a saying that over familiarity breeds contempt. Because we are too familiar with water, we don't rightly place its importance. But when we understand its importance, that's where we can start any meaningful thing about accessing it. The benefits of clean water and sanitation include improved health and hygiene, increased economic productivity, enhanced food security, reduced child mortality, empowerment of women and girls, protection of the environment, support for education and economic development. Because of my audience, let me dwell much on this point 7. Support for education and economic development. Imagine you are coming from an unkempt home. Imagine you are drinking unsafe water, you are drinking dirty water. You won't be mentally fit for education. You won't be mentally fit to receive and learn because such a person will be sick. So clean water and sanitation gives us a strong support for education and economic development. There are some challenges of not having access to clean water and sanitation. We have the earth challenge, and that is well known to everyone. Anyone that is in an unkempt environment and drinking unclean water is prone to waterborne diseases like cholera, diarrhea, typhoid. We can all see the recent cholera outbreak in Lagos. And what's the cause? Lack of access to clean water and sanitation. We have economic challenges. We have reduced productivity and increased healthcare costs. We have social challenges. We have increased vulnerability and exploitation of women and girls. Because of lack of access to clean water and sanitation, many of our women, many of our guests, they could not properly take care of their they could not properly take care of themselves during menstruation. Their menstrual health is derailing, and that leads to their vulnerability. They are vulnerable to several diseases because of that. We have the environmental challenges, water pollution and contamination. We have the educational challenges, like I said in the importance. There will be reduced school attendance and performance if you are sick as a result of taking dirty water and living in an unkempt environment. Then, what is the current state of things? What is the current state of accessibility of clean water and sanitation? The current state of accessibility of sanitation and clean water is a pressing global issue, with billions of people lacking access to safely managed drinking water and sanitation services. In 2019, 80 million people had no access to improved sanitation facilities in Nigeria. You'll be surprised to hear this, but sincerely, those statistics, they are true. Many people, they lack access to improved sanitation facilities. And you can bear this witness in your environment, in your school, in your community. How many of you in your school, how many of you do you have well-situated incinerator where your solid waste are being burned? You just see all this refuse lying up and down, causing nuisance on the ground. Inadequate access to safe water, sanitation, and hygiene services causes millions of deaths each year, with diarrhea diseases being a leading cause of death among children under the age of 5. When you get to hospitals now, when you check the leading cause of death among children, you will see they are as a result of pathogens that are being caused, that are being transferred, that are as a result of diseases emanating from dirty and unclean environments. Barriers to accessibility of clean water and sanitation. There are several barriers why we are unable to access clean water and sanitation. And the first barrier is access issue. The first one is access issue, and that will be considering the infrastructure. Many of our communities, many of our society, they lack the infrastructure to bring out water from the ground to the surface, or sometimes even to bring water from river to purify it and make it fit for consumption. Another one is economic factors. Many cannot bear the costs that are associated with building and maintaining water and sanitation systems. We also have environmental factors that gives us that debar us from accessing clean water and sanitation. We have climate change. We have pollution. We have social and political factors. There are disparities in access between different communities and regions. Many people, because of politics, the game, and so on. Okay, this community will not give them this because they don't vote for us. It's only this community will give borehole to because they voted for us in the last election. Things should not be like that. And all these things are barring our access to clean water and sanitation. We've heard about the challenges, we've heard about the importance, we've heard about the barriers. Then how can we ensure future access? Because that is the cruise of our topic today. That's the cruise of our discussion today. How can we ensure future access? How can I do my part to ensure future access? How can you do your part as students to ensure future access to clean water? By implementing some of the strategies I've put here on the screen, you can see it on the screen, we can ensure universal access to clean water and sanitation to support women health, not only women health, to support economic development, not only economic development, but environmental sustainability. What can we do? We can upgrade and maintain water treatment plants, pipes, and sanitation system. We can safeguard water sources from pollution and contamination. Thank God some communities are already doing this. They are putting guards in place to stop people from dumping refuse, from dumping things into their water bodies. We also have some sustainable solutions in terms of technology, innovative technologies for water purification and efficient sanitation. We have policy and advocacy. Governments are putting down supportive policies and regulations to ensure this. We have the WASH program, we have the NAP program in Nigeria, and there are also global efforts, international initiatives and partnerships by organizations like UNICEF, WHO, and the rest. All of them are coming on board to do this. And one of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 6, is actually canvassing for this, clean water and sanitation. And the goal, the target of the goal is by 2030, everyone will have universal access to this. And another thing we can do to ensure universal access and future access, not only universal in your environment, in my environment, how can we ensure future access? Is by youth engagement. You as a youth, I as a youth, we should come on board, we should get involved, we should advocate for this change. Educational programs, you can just gather your friends, you can gather your classmates, all of you can do something as regards this. What's Nigeria's journey to save water and sanitation for all? What is Nigeria? What are the steps we are taking in this country to access that? The Nigerian government has taken several steps to improve access to clean water and sanitation. We have the National Water Resources Policy 2016. This one outlines strategies for sustainable water management. We have the National Water and Sanitation Policy 2019. This focuses on increasing access to safe water and sanitation. And yes, this was put in place during the regime of our former President Muhammadu Buhari. He implemented a national action plan which focuses on ways on increasing access to free water and sanitation. There's also the Pay Wash, there is National Urban Water Sector Reform Projects, there is WASH. WASH has become an household thing. This is water, sanitation, and hygiene. This is actually an emergency response plan to address water and sanitation needs. There are a lot of initiative and policy put on ground, and this is currently what Nigeria is navigating, what Nigeria is building on in ensuring universal access to water, clean water, and sanitation. We also have collaboration with international organizations. Nigeria is collaborating with organizations like UNICEF. You can always hear it on the news, World Bank and USA, to support water and sanitation initiative. Yes, Nigeria has done a lot, but there are still more to be done, because this thing is not just one man thing. It's a thing for every one of us, because we've seen the importance of water, clean water, and sanitation. It's just like the bedrock. It's just like a root in which we can trace. If it's not rightly put in place, we can trace every other challenges in the community. We can trace it to it. Then what can we do? We've seen the Nigerian government's efforts to ensuring that there is accessibility of clean water and sanitation in Nigeria. Then call to action. What are you going to do? What am I going to do to ensure that we are corroborating what Nigeria is doing? While progress has been made, more work is needed to achieve universal access to clean water and sanitation in Nigeria. And the first thing is every one of us must take personal action. There's this saying that says, change begin with me. And there's also this saying that says, if you want to go far, you go alone. But if you want to go further, you go in group. And because to ensure this clean water and sanitation, we want to go further. We are not going alone. We are going in groups. Individuals should come together, take simple steps to conserve water and promote sanitation. You are hearing this. You should not be the one that in your hostel you are wasting water. You should not be the one that in your hostel you are polluting the water source. You are creating a kind of uncleanliness around your water source. You should not be the one. Everyone should take this personal action. Everyone should take this personal initiative to ensure that there is clean water and there is clean sanitation in our environment. We also have community involvement. Students should participate in local or global initiatives. Like I said, international organizations like WHO, UNICEF, they have a lot of initiatives and they are looking for partners. You can just go to the website. You can, I think one ended August 31st. There was one initiative, there was one partnership that ended that time. You can go search for more. You can write to them. I'm from this so community. They give preference to people from our communities, to people from this part of the world. I'm from so community, and I've noticed the challenge of my people. They lack access to clean water and sanitation. And I think this and this and this and this and this can be done to open the access to clean water and sanitation. Once you give a reasonable proposal, and once you give reasonable things you want to do, they will support you. They will fund you. So there must be community involvement. Look at your neighbor. Look at this person. Look at the person sitting next to you as you are listening to this. You can form something. You can start an initiative. You can call it Operation Make the Campus Clean. Operation Keep You High Clean. Operation Keep Uni Osun Clean. Then every weekend you come together. It's going to be like a club. You come together, you discuss on how to do it. You take steps. You take practical steps. You go about the hostels. Maybe you are going to stay 8 to this week. You clean it. You set a standard. You tell them, okay, this is how we want to. This is what we want. This is how the hostel should be if you are going to maintain good hygiene. Then we just have to be involved. All ends should be on deck. And also advocacy, students should support policies and organizations working towards universal access. You've seen what Nigerian government is doing about it. Support the government. Support policies, support organizations, work with them, volunteer with them. This is the age of volunteering. Volunteer with international bodies. You might be thinking, oh, how will I know this? How will I access this? That's where we have the internet. All this information are accessible on the internet. Go there, browse it, and just, okay, how can I come on board? And if you are unable to get any international organization to volunteer with or anything, you can start something. Network with your group of friends. Start something. Give it a name. Give it a compelling name. A call, like a name in which people will hear and they know that, oh, these people they are serious with this thing and they are ready for action. Okay, Operation Make the Campus Clean. Operation. You can even do maybe a certain number of days campaign on sanitation. Post it on your social media. By that, you're also doing your part to ensure future access to clean water and sanitation. Then concluding this discussion on how to ensure future access to clean water and sanitation, we can only flush away poverty and disease with clean water and sanitation. The poverty ravaging our community, the disease everywhere, cholera outbreak in Lagos, every this and that, we can only flush it away with clean water and sanitation. And if this clean water and sanitation is not accessible, then how can we do it? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. That's why I have to do my part. That's why you have to do your part. And this thing is very simple. Start little, start small. Why are we on track? This is not just only for the government. It's for every one of us. Start little, start small. Form a group of people. Reach out to people. Reach out to your hostel management. Reach out to your school management. Reach out to your class teacher. Reach out to your principal and tell them this is what I want to do. This is the initiative I have in mind to make this our secondary school, to make it clean. So it starts with us. Change begins with us. And for additional reading, you can go to WHO and UNICEF websites and other public health establishments websites to read up. You read up about various initiatives they put in place, like WASH. WASH is now the also thing. Water, sanitation, and hygiene. The three are they work together. If you don't have clean water, if you lack access to water, there's no how you can maintain a very hygienic environment, and there's no how you can even maintain personal hygiene. So if you have questions on this, if something is already spurring in you, an initiative and any other thing, and you need help, you need clarification, you need guidance, you can reach out to me at ayantoyin06@gmail.com. I will be so glad to discuss with you, answer your questions, clarify your doubts and everything. And I want to thank you for paying attention for those few minutes to listen to this discussion, this important and insightful discussion, a topic rather. Thank you so much. And I also want to appreciate the organizer, Stride Pathway, for giving me this privilege. Thank you so much.